Hello, my name is Megan Campbell, and this is my personal channel where I run my mouth about movies. And if you want to hear me run my mouth about alcohol, then you want to head on over to Turquoise Sky Custom Spirits. So, this movie that we watched last night was not on the list, the big list. Apparently, Godzilla King of Monsters was not one of the best things to come out in the decade, in 2000 to 2010. No, 2010 to 2020, because it came out in 2019. So, if you haven't seen the movie, don't watch this. Go watch the movie. All of my videos are always going to have spoilers because I'm just sitting around talking about them. So, if you haven't watched the movie or it's been a while, the general gist is that the world, it's been like 8 years since Godzilla rampaged through through one of the major California cities, San Francisco and Las Vegas. And the whole world is still like, oh my god, these things, what's happening? And what's happening is that there's this organization, Monarch, who's supposed to be watching them and taking care of them, and basically they're not doing a great job because the monsters keep getting out. And and then there's a whole bunch of monsters, and then some people are like, we should kill them because their mere existence is a threat to humankind because they're so fucking big and they have no concept of what's important to us or insurance rates, so we should kill them all. And then other people are like varying degrees of, well, sure, they're a danger to humanity, but we deserve it. And some of them are like, we sort of deserve it, and they're really helping. And some of them are like, we super fucking deserve it, and they're helping. So that's the two sides, is they're going to kill us, and yes, but so it's fine. It's loud. It was loud as shit. A lot of explosions. It's like 90% exploding. So I guess first of all, it starts off with Monarch, like, the US government is like, hey, can you give us a good reason why you shouldn't be classified as under the military branch? And they can't, but it's like, okay, first of all, I think we've established that this group, Monarch, is like international and has been for like 3 or 4 generations. It's a really old group, so why would they answer to the US military and not like the UN or something, you know, which is effectively the US military, so you would think the US would be fine with it. So that's a little like, alright. But then the US military is like not very helpful. You know, like being a fighter jet pilot in these movies is a suicide mission. It's like, oh, hey, I know each of these jets plus your time and training and the uncountable cost of human life is like in the millions for every single one of them, but we're just going to keep throwing them at it. Like, we know that our missiles and our guns barely even annoy them. Like, you're talking about, like, a fly. It's like, oh my god, there's so many flies while I'm trying to eat my dinner. This is so irritating. Like, that is the level of these fighter jets right now. So, it's pretty much a suicide mission, and, like, not even a helpful one, which people would be like, yes, I'm dying for my country. But, like, your country, it would have been fine either way. Or it won't be fine either way. You're dying for nothing. So that's a little stupid. And then they've had years of research and like watching the videos of these creatures just ripping through every single thing the US military has. And then they're like, okay, we've built this new experimental bomb. It's an oxygen bomb, which they don't really clarify if it's like splitting oxygen molecules and therefore is stronger than the atomic bombs, or doesn't give off radiation, or if it like sucks all of the oxygen out of a given space, and they thought that would make a difference because like the Hydra just was in ice for like God only knows how long. Obviously breathing is not its number one way of like, you know, they live on radiation and they live in like methane pools and shit like that. Why did you think that was gonna work? Like, you didn't think of like biological weapons? That seems like a good idea. Like, you gotta find something that would get in there and make them sick. Probably hard to find something that would live with all that radiation, but I don't know. Or just anything other than larger explosives, or the same explosives you used last time that didn't work, or like auditory weapons. Obviously, someone thought, wow, you know, they can hear, therefore, we should think about it. But no, U.S. military is just like, I've got a bigger gun this time, and it's gonna work, everybody needs to leave. And then they're like, no, it didn't work, oh my god, we gave it all we got. No, just dumb. If the U.S. government can't get better weapons against these things, then they're obviously not doing their job. And like, I think that they were trying to make you feel like, oh wow, Monarch's really under fire so much. Like, this is so hard for everyone who works there. Maybe it's just the American in me, but 2 buildings in New York got destroyed, and we've been at war ever since. Like, that was 20 years ago, and we're still over there fucking shit up, dedicating major parts of our budget to fucking up other people's houses because 2 buildings got destroyed 20 years ago. So I find it hard to believe that they're going to be very patient and calm about literally ripping through and irradiating 2 major American cities. It just didn't really, like, I think they were all being much nicer than the American military would be under those circumstances. And then, in the end, they make this, like, big thing out of, like, oh my gosh, Mom sacrificed herself, which was stupid, because you're going to get way further in the plane, even though you're going to die. So I guess the whole point was she didn't want her kid to die, which was the whole point of the whole movie. But she's like, oh no, I'm going to take this thing and get in a Jeep and drive through inexplicably clear streets in this rubble-strewn, totally destroyed, like, major metropolitan city. Like, oh yeah, you're gonna get super far, even though in every other movie you would have gotten like 20 feet before your car was like locked, done, gone. Like, you're not getting very far on foot from this fucking Hydra that's as tall as a building. Yeah, and then it's like, oh my god, Mom sacrificed herself. No, so we can live, so we can get away, no. But, like, it was all her fault to begin with. Like, I can't even imagine the war tribunal that woman was gonna be put through, because she personally decided to let loose all of the Titans. She's like, no, we were gonna do it one at a time, so that we would destroy major cities one at a time? Like, so that we would cull the planet a spot at a time? Like, the whole thing, she was like, this isn't what I planned. No, you planned to do it slower, but you were still gonna do it. It's like, oh, Mom, no, sacrifice. Okay, alright, just was culling humans. Like, that's not the good guy. It's never ever the good guy. So, yeah, I don't even know if it was really a sacrifice, or more like looking into the future where she lives and not wanting to be there. Like, that's a shitty future. Let's just die now instead of putting myself and my family through it. And then I can pretend like I'm a hero. Yay, yay. wasn't impressed with mother and daughter, who was somewhere between 12 and 18 and did not think to email her dad about the culling of the human race, except for right at the end when she was like, oh my goodness, maybe the thing that's hatching today, the plan we're starting right now, we should tell dad about. I don't know. And then there's the part where the dad, whose son was killed in the attack, so that's his whole, like, motivation. The dad was like, I really wish Godzilla were dead. I think he should be dead because he's a danger to the human race. And then when they think Godzilla is dead, the Asian guy is like, you got what you wanted, Mark. It's like, why are you making him the bad guy? Like, he was out in the forest taking videos of wolves. Like, you brought him in here. He was just running from his life and his troubles and thinking that maybe the monster that killed his son and ruined his home shouldn't exist. Like, that's fair. People think way, way worse things all the time. That was a very reasonable thing for him to feel, and you're making him the bad guy. And he didn't even do anything. Like, he's not the one who killed Godzilla. He was just there when Godzilla was killed. It's like, so stupid. I think that was it. I'm sure it wasn't. I'm sure there's other things, but that was it. It was just, there's a lot of, like, not really thinking very hard about what they're doing. Like, and so now that I'm a business owner, you know, people always tell you, like, oh, it's gonna change once you're a business owner, like, your mindset changes, and that is true. Now, I think usually they assume that I'm gonna become a Republican because I'm a business owner, but what actually has happened is that when I watch movies and they, like, make a point of being like, all the people are gone, so now we can have this huge fight in the middle of this metropolitan area, and everything is okay, don't worry, all the people are gone. It's like, first of all, you want me to believe that all the people left Boston in, like, a day? That's not likely. Like, that was the most amazing evevacuation in the history of the planet. And where are you evacuating them to? How far did you take them? Like, no. There's no way you got everybody out of Boston in a day. And second of all, like, that's people's lives. They're like, don't worry, everyone's safe. It's like, okay, but, like, my home is destroyed and my business is destroyed, and, like, it ruins you. Like, if someone was like, oh, don't worry, everyone was out of downtown Phoenix, but, you know, your business was, like, completely obliterated, I'd be like, okay, so my life is, like, overdone, like, not quite that bad, but, like, really fucking bad. You know, do the people who have loaned me money give a shit that the business is destroyed and downtown Phoenix is gone? Is it such a problem that all of the insurance people are like, no. Like, no, there's no insurance money. There's no money anywhere to fix this. Industry is destroyed because every major metropolitan area had a large beast rampaging through it. Like nobody's got jobs. All those jobs are gone. Like, all those homes are gone. It's like, don't worry, the US government will help. Like, we've seen the problem. Like, oh no, one hurricane in one state that was really bad, and people are like, yeah, it's been 20 years and I'm still recovering, and, like, my house still has, like, fucking flood lines up to the ceiling. It's like, yeah, okay, the US government is going to calmly take care of every single person whose home was destroyed. Yes. Yep, the money's there. Don't even worry about it. We can ask for help from our friends who are also dealing with the exact same thing, because this was all over the entire planet. Yeah. They don't show the part at the end where the the system of world government collapses under the weight of its own financial burden. So, okay, now I'm done. I'm done for real. It didn't make any sense. I'm done for real. If you want to hear me run my mouth about alcohol, go over to Turquoise Sky. If you want to hear me run my mouth about movies, just keep on watching, because I watch a lot of movies, and I'm going to make a lot more of these videos in a short amount of time than probably I do for my alcohol ones, because these are way easier. So, alright, talk to you later. Bye.